It was all pretty overwhelming that first day. There were a lot of emotions. There was a lot of reunions happening of people that we hadn't seen in a while. And to be feeling all of that and then just jump right into like bum, 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 psych rhythm was like, what? It was a little, except of course for Delay, who immediately it was like no time had passed. But yeah, it took me a little while to sort of play my way into the game. Thank God those early scenes weren't supposed to be super funny.
Can I ask how Sean's relationship with Julia changed?
Without giving too much away, I can tell you that they're still into each other. But it plays a pretty major role, I would say, in the movie. So you won't be shortchanged.
What was the process of writing the proposal?
What's that?
You gotta know what happened after that proposal.
Yeah, we all are curious. Yeah.
No, what was the process of writing the film as well as being a star and taking on more?
Steve and I wrote it together pretty quickly, I would say. It actually lined up with the presidential election. That was sort of the backdrop of writing this movie, which I think helped. We sort of accepted the challenge of like make this as funny as humanly possible. And as light as humanly possible, because everything just felt so intense at the time. That we were like, hey, let's be an elixir, let's be a respite, let's be a moment to sort of breathe. So that was motivational. Steve had a lot of the story in his head already, so I was basically just his co-pilot, tossing out weird jokes. And then, we got thrown a curveball pretty deep into prep, where we were going to have to figure out how to tell this story without Lassiter. And at that point, we holed up at a restaurant in Vancouver and got drunk for like 72 hours, and somehow did that. Yeah.
So last we saw Sean, he moved away from home, got engaged. Are we gonna expect to see a more mature Sean, or?
I would say his beard is a little longer, and I think he's probably knows more. I don't know that he necessarily has figured out how to put that into action. I think that's always sort of been Sean's Achilles heel. I think he's matured up here. Just have to figure out how to execute those things in life.
Are there any fun bromance moments with Gus?
It's pretty heavy. It's heavy bromance. It's a lot of it's a lot of Sean. It's a lot of Sean Gus. Hope that's okay.
So it's okay. So what was your favorite nickname out of all the nicknames that Sean gave you?
I like Jet Blackness. I've always liked Jet Blackness because it doubles as Dule's real life porn name, which I think is fantastic and everyone should embrace and celebrate. He never actually worked under that name, but he would have if he'd chosen to go down that path. Luckily, he didn't have to.
As a writer, do you feel pressure from your co-stars? Like, hey, you better give me a good scene, make sure I get good stuff.
Honestly, Sean is the character that I'm least interested in writing for, so I think they always get pretty stoked when they know that I'm writing, because they know that I don't actually want to be in the episode, or at least be in as little as possible. I love writing for the other characters, and I love giving them stuff to do that they've never gotten to do before. That's the fun for me, is watching them, because I love them all. And I feel like I've just been in it so much, and I talk so much. Everybody could use a break.
Who's your favorite character to write for?
I absolutely, positively have always loved writing for Ten. I think what he did with that character is nothing short of remarkable. I don't know if I can think of another actor who could have figured out how to take what was a pretty straightforward, one-dimensional guy that you're supposed to hate in the pilot and turn him into a guy that's so complex, that has so many layers and neuroses that you absolutely, positively fell in love with and can't imagine, not having him around. I think it's a great character, and I think the actor and the character marriage was perfect, and you can do so many things with him. It's so fun. I love writing for Tim. I like writing for Julia as well. Screwed Gus.
As you're writing, do you come up with ideas when you're going to put in a pineapple? I'm assuming there are pineapples.
You know, Steve had a pretty clever one this time around that we came up with pretty early, so we were able to sort of like check that, got it. Obviously, we knew that we had to do something that was better than average since we've been away for so long. So I think we found something pretty fun. Yeah. There is 0% chance you will not spot it.
What's something new that you can teach to fans that you think you personally are really excited about? We've heard about the new office as well.
New office is off the charts cool. And probably the single biggest homage that we have in the film, because it's a little light on, I would say, movie tributes, since I felt like we had enough time to come up with a story that didn't require borrowing from somebody else. But the new office is the one thing that we let ourselves have. So
I have to steal him now. Sorry.
Thank you so much.
yeah, thanks, guys.
Have a good time.
Yeah, have a great weekend.